Rose Gathering. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Elohi Magdalena Rosa, also known as Anümani, and I'm an intuitive healer, a trance channel, and a voice alchemist. And I'm here with two amazing, beautiful Rose sisters, Pamela, who is co-facilitating the Costa Rica retreat with me. And Pamela, if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are joining us live this day, November 14th, 2023. I am Pamela Jane Gerrand, also known as Elohi Maria Rosa, and I am a singer-songwriter, sound alchemist, poet, spoken word artist, trance channel medium as well. And I am so grateful to be here tonight, welcoming our beloved Rose sister and beloved friend, Jodi.
Thank
Hi,
you for having me
Jodi.
here.
Yes.
Thank you. I am Jodi Behan. I am a Reiki and intuitive healing practitioner, a yoga and meditation teacher, as well as a doula. And I have recently just been deepening into sound healing as well.
Beautiful.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited for this
Thank you.
conversation.
Yeah, thank you for being with us.
Mm-hmm.
So we always like to start by just talking about, what we are experiencing. There's so much going on this planet right now. And so we'll start that conversation, and my sisters will join in. I will start by saying that there are so many portals and gateways opening for us. I feel like we have a deeper access into our multidimensional aspects, intergalactic beings coming in that we didn't have access to before. All these gateways are opening up as we go through this deep transformation, and each of us going through our own unique journey. I've been going through a big transformation. It feels like, for a long time, but in the last 2 weeks, really just accelerated. And so grateful for all the support, both on the spiritual plane and on the physical plane. And I had shared with Pamela that I had this intergalactic being come in to do some healing on me in a meditation that I was in, which was so unexpected and so beautiful because there were, I had been having issues with my vision and waking up in the mornings with pain behind my eyes. And it turned out I had some energies there that needed to be removed, and she actually did some etheric surgery on me. So, this is the type of thing that is available to us now, of really opening up to these higher realms and these beings that are coming in to support us as we go through this huge transformation on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. I second that. I've been having quite a sequence of initiations that really, actually, it's been going on for a couple of years now, of so much growth and transformation. And some of these growing pains have been challenging and painful at times. But as I look back at my journey these last 2 years, I'm grateful for everything that's happened, because I'm realizing, and in it, I was realizing that everything was happening for me. It was like my prayers were being answered. And so, it keeps on happening. I keep on enduring these moments of growth, and it feels like a sequence of initiations. And, it's beautiful though, because I feel like spirit and the universe, or the energies, however you want to call them, really take care of us through this growth period, through this expansion and this transformation, that, you know, in one moment I'll have a very like dark moment of the soul, dark night of the soul. And I'll have to just surrender to what I'm feeling and the emotions. And then moments later, there's beautiful gifts that come in. And so it's just such a beautiful dance of this human experience. And especially as we are going through this ascension so quickly, you know, I feel like we're spinning in a way, and all the dense energy is falling away. And we're just on this wild journey of coming into who we truly are and who we've been wanting to be and experience of ourselves. So I have so much to say on what you just shared, Anümani. I'm like,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. And I can feel it. I can feel it, Jodi and Elohi, both of you, your experiences and speaking to this time of initiation. And I have been there as well. You know, it was a very intense energy on the weekend, moving into the new moon in Scorpio yesterday. And I'm finding that, just as you had said, Jodi, exactly this is, I would say, is my takeaway of the past month, is that, how can I say this? And I had this image when you were talking about us spinning. I had an image of us all in this kind of like earthly galactic salad spinner, that we're being spun deliberately to have whatever density and, you know, the lower states literally just spun out of us. And at times it can be very disorienting. It's kind of like, you know, for us, it's happening for us, not to us, that these lower density states that have been part of our conditioning and in our DNA and our body for this lifetime, many lifetimes, in the collective, you know, I'm keenly aware, we are keenly aware that on the planet right now, there is such a bifurcation of timelines, because we know there has been profound sorrow and loss and war and chaos on the planet that is happening. And side by side, at the same time, there is this light and this harmonizing within us of the deepest peace that we are being offered, because we are in this crucible. 'Twas ever thus that humanity has been at war with each other. And yet there is a new energy that is arising within this time. And it's beyond just frustration or the anguish that we are still in this place as humanity. It's like, as you spoke to, Elohi, these portals and doorways are opening up that are saying, and you know that this crucible is a catalyst for change. So whether it's been planetary, the pain, you know, awakening in us a desire to be the opposite of that, the call to love, the call to a deeper compassion and mercy. And I know in my personal journey, I've been feeling in the past few days, having, you know, a few weeks ago, felt the depths of that despair and the anguish. In the past few days, I have been feeling a feeling of deep neutrality with bursts of the most profound, all I can say is universal love, that unconditional love that can be felt in the whole body, where the stories are just melting away. And any of the ways that I may have carried the story and, you know, been hard on myself or felt any of those feelings that, you know, are from the past, those past stories of shame or doubt or especially fear, it's almost like I've stepped into a different place, into a different timeline, where there is this humming of a new music, where I literally feel the all is well. I feel like, oh, it's going to be okay, despite appearances. There is this welling up, arising, like the phoenix, of this great mother love energy. And it's been, you know, activating such deep creativity in me and peace. And when I'm walking in the street, people are, you know, have this radiance about them, and I feel this love for all creatures and all humanity. And so I feel this beautiful, expansive, exquisite, exalted love energy that is rising on the planet beside the other noise and chaos at this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to follow up on that because I remember my guides saying probably about a year and a half ago that we would be going through a cycle of a heart ascension. So really moving into the embodiment of our multidimensional hearts, and going into all the places where our heart consciousness has been separated out. And you can't get to the light without going through that shadow and the darkness, right? But there is so much more light than I think people really realize that has been holding and allowing the transformation that is happening on the planet. And I got to see Neil Donald Walsh a couple of weekends ago, and somebody asked him, what percentage of humanity do we need to be able to, really start seeing the transformation and the shifting? And he said, very small, 3 to 5%. And he said, we're almost there. So, and I have felt that, that each of us, by just being who we are those pillars of light and love. I too have been feeling, gosh, so deeply loved, and just this deeper embodiment of who I am. And when I just had an event this weekend of just feeling that heart-to-heart connection, from the group, and then connecting into the collective. And all of us are contributing to that expansion of light and love. And it is so beautiful to witness. And even though there is all this chaos happening around us, it is through the heart, right, that we get to help to transform all of that. And I like to remind myself what my guides have told me. Everyone is playing their role in this divine play that we're in. So even those people who, may look like the villain, are playing a role in all of this. It doesn't mean that it's okay or that we dismiss it. But, the more we deepen into that love, it really does open the space for the healing to happen on the planet and for Mother Earth, as she is helping with all of the transformation that's happening. So lots of love, absolutely, I have been feeling.
Yeah. It's also beautiful to see so many people are waking up to their gifts. They're getting nudged forward. The opportunities are coming up. And there's such, I think, a desire for people to come into their creativity. So I just feel like there's so much song and dance really coming online as a really important gift coming forward for all of our healings, that we can use sound vibration to, connect to our hearts, to move through energy, to express ourselves. So it's really exciting to see everyone kind of like going online with their creative gifts and to share that. There's just so much celebration and expression.
It makes me think of, we came here at this time to remember all the lifetimes that we spent in the medicine of sound and sacred dance in temples. And, I know for myself, I've always been drawn to the healing arts and to dance and music and these forms of expression. And it wasn't until my adult years when I had been in different forms of performing, that there was this knowing of creating altars and sacred ways of being. And so where did this come from? And we're really tapping into, as you say, Jodi, that, and Elohi, about the heart opening. We're really understanding that there's so much online and there's so much content about mindset and goals and achieving. And, these are all good things. And
Very
what
much
we
like
are
the
really
masculine.
very masculine and very, very much, I would say, we're coming into a new technology that pairs the mind with the heart, but really dropping into the technology, the exquisite and profound technology of the human heart that holds the emotional center and the qualities of the playfulness of the young, innocent child that is completely free to express. And then we, beyond the age of 7, when the ego really starts to form, we stop dancing. We stop singing. We stop being free because we worry about how we'll be perceived. And there's that beautiful saying of the person who's ill that goes to the shaman. And the shaman looks quizzically at the person who is feeling unwell and says, "And when was it that you stopped listening to the music of the wind? And when did you stop dancing? When did you stop drinking of the waters of your own song? When did you stop telling stories?" Right? So yes, we are re-engaging with this sacred medicine that is ancient, but it's in our bodies to free that wildness that we know we sit too much. For myself, I know I find myself doing admin, creating, doing a lot of stuff behind a computer or driving or sitting at my keyboard, my piano. And the call to be in nature is so huge. And, this is why we've come together for any of these retreats, workshops, why we're on this call tonight, is the invitation to rewild this beautiful heart-centered sense of the feminine that is rooted in the deep creativity that is here to, help us step into our liberation lifetime. And, we are becoming the presencing of all of the experiences that we had in ancient lifetimes. And we'll talk more about this, of what we'll be experiencing at the retreat. But thank you for saying that, Jodi, because these gifts are coming alive at this time for a reason.
And I think we're going to need them as resources more and more, not only to be receiving sound, but to be able to move through deep grief and emotions and stress by moving our bodies, moving the energy through as a somatic practice
Right.
of release, as well as using the power of sound to heal our own bodies and provide healing for other people. I was just gathered with Gary Diggins for the sound work training that he does. And, it was during November 11th, the 11/11 portal. And so I said, are we going to have some silence at 11/11 or are we going to do something? And he suggested singing. And he's like, "I'd like us to come into a prayer for my Israeli brothers and sisters that I know that are going through really horrendous times, and they've each lost somebody dear to them already." And so it was really interesting because there was 3 of us, and so we came into our prayer and our sound, and I found both of them were creating these beautiful qualities of love and peace that we were sending their way. And then for me, as an emotional empath, I was able to feel their pain. And so my sounding was more of me clearing and releasing, almost like coming into those grieving songs that we hear, whether it's, the fado music or other cultures that have used song to move through their emotions. And I felt like this deep, grief moving through me. And I hope that that was of benefit for these brothers and sisters of him and whoever else that energy reached in our prayers. And, it's hard when we're here in Canada to feel like we can help over there. But, as a Reiki practitioner, we learn distant Reiki healing, and we know the power of energy, that we can really channel and connect our energy regardless of space and time. And so I hope this is a gentle reminder and nudge that for anyone who's listening to this, when Israel or Palestine come into your mind, or anyone that that's hurting and suffering, you can take a moment right there to send love, to send light, to send prayers, just whoosh, just send it to them. It doesn't take long. And I had a moment with my son where I was like, we're going to send energy over there. We're just walking out on our way to school, and we just filled our hearts with love and light. And then we opened our hands, our healing hands and our hearts, and we channeled that energy there, sending all that love and light there, lifting up the dark fog, giving the people a sense of relief. And we have that power. And I think we can really step into that prayer ceremony anytime our hearts feel called.
Yeah, powerful, Jodi. Thank you for for talking about that, because we know the power of prayer and our ability to be. We are all one, so we can at any moment send energy and love and prayers and healing to all those in suffering. And I do love the way sound helps us to do that, because it goes beyond the mind and really goes to the places within us where we need it. And I think that's why the ancient ones, Hathor and Isis and all those deities, all the beings that came before us, who we were with as well, right? Who used their voices and dancing and sound, who created temples that had, the amazing sound vibrations, that all of that is coming back into modern times to be remembered. Because the more we use these gifts, the more we remember. And I know that my guides are always saying, use your gifts on yourself. So I walk around my house speaking in light language and sounding and singing. And it is a way, for those listening, of whatever it is that resonates with you, of using that as your way of, reconnecting and recentering in the moment. It could be, using your breath. It could be humming, chanting, singing, prayer, whatever that mode is for you, dancing, which also is coming back, I think, very strongly, the divine feminine, and helping to raise that Shakti energy that, you can do it right in your home, and or when you gather to connect in and send all that loving energy to those who are needing it the most, including us, right? Because I always love what Yeshua says to me, that we are loving each other back into being, and that love, really is that alchemy. Love is all. It is what allows us to really remember and deepen into who we are. And so when both of you were speaking, I was remembering, Mary Magdalene's gospel and the eye of the heart, and the more our soul merges with our physical presence, which a lot of us are, experiencing that now. You start to see through the eyes of love, and then your whole world changes. So Pamela, when you were talking about the radiance that you are witnessing, that is what starts to happen, right? Everything looks brighter. It looks different because you're seeing it through the eyes of love through the eyes of your soul and not through the pain body of the eye of our ego, which still happens when we are triggered, and there are things around us that take us into those places where more love is being called. But it is that duality on this plane that really helps us to go deeper. And so we honor all of that, the pain and the suffering. I do feel we are moving into a different way of being that is more joyful. It is what, my guides have been saying for a while now, of really letting go of all those old paradigms of suffering. I always think of kind of like that crucifixion energy and stepping into joy and delight and bliss. And I have visions of like the goddesses dancing and in this ecstatic state of bliss and love and joy, that is the way forward. And I have been experiencing that myself as I open up more in my event. It was so funny. The first part of it was very shamanic, and I was playing a track and channeling over it. And at one point, I was just like dancing, and there was just so much joy and ecstasy in being that vessel for all of the beings that were wanting to sing through me. So I feel like that is what we are stepping into, right? Of that level of remembrance.
Amen, sister. Hearing you both talk about the joy of being and sounding, I think about, I don't know who said this, but I love this quote that we sing to pray twice. And, Jodi, when you were talking about the intentionality of, I loved how you on Saturday took that moment to send the energy of the sound and with your son, and everything that you just said, Elohi, about the remembrance of, we know how potent our voices are. Florence Scovel Shinn said, our word is our wand. We are magicians. And the sounds that we create with our voices, we know we have the ability to move mountains, literally. We see the Arenal volcano on the image on the screen here, where we're going to be in Costa Rica. And we know that sound frequencies were used in ancient times to lift, the materials, the sandstone that made the pyramids. We know that we have the ability to open portals to other worlds. We have the ability to move the grief, the sorrow, as you said that, Jodi. I know myself, that keening you speak of, I didn't know that was my gift 20 years ago when I was singing in concert, and people would come up to me and say, nobody makes me cry, but I was crying so hard. And I know that we are, given this gift to feel suffering so deeply that we can transmute it with our voices. That's what you're talking about. That is, we can literally feel it rising through us as we touch, the center of that pain and that grief, and we liberate it. That's what they do in the Celtic traditions, that keening. And I think we are understanding that we have been raised in traditions. I'm thinking about a friend that used to say, speaking to, the family that I grew up in, many families grew up in, to be very serious and work hard, that Puritan work ethic. And she said, so many people have such a very strong don't enjoy principle. We could say it as, there is a conditioning where people are we're addicted to suffering.
No pain, no gain.
Right? The martyr, the victim, people were praised for all that, right? And so we are eliminating those old ways of being because they only serve to anchor us in victimhood and martyrdom. And we are such powerful beings. You made me think of the David Hawkins quote that somebody actually just posted today. And as we're speaking of this, we know that what is arising in us, what is alive in us, that heart technology you spoke of, Elohi, that your guides were reminding you that as we come into coherence and embody more of our soul, the gospel of Mary Magdalene is to have the courage to feel it all and to be in such a place of the embodiment of the mercy, the compassion, the forgiveness, that we literally become transmuters, transducers of this dark energy. We don't even have to say anything. Just our very being is energetically a lighthouse when we begin to activate this within us. And David Hawkins said, one individual who lives and vibrates in the energy of unconditional love and reverence for all life will counterbalance the energy of 750,000 individuals who calibrate at the lower, weakening levels. So we know that the science backs this. We don't need the science. We know it in our hearts and in our bodies. We can feel it. That we're here on purpose. Yeah.
I do believe that, Elohi, you spoke of like the 3 to 5%, that we need 3 to 5% of people to be in a more enlightened state to create this shift. But I believe that everyone is going through an awakening. Things are happening in everyone's life. I mean, I'm sure you guys are noticing it around you, whether it's, I don't want to, but like illness or the passing of a loved one, challenges with their careers or professions, maybe the loss of a job or the ending of a relationship, which is what I've gone through. I'm 7 months into a separation. And so I feel like we're all kind of being nudged along into our highest awakening, it's happening to us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a strong invitation to detach from externals. And that's a lifelong journey and process. Mm-hmm. And we find that the more that we understand that we are one, and as you said so beautifully, Elohi, everyone is playing their part. When we every day we have another opportunity to be, my good girlfriend calls it the scrub down. We're being polished by every experience, right? And when we no longer see this as something that we either resist or fear, and we can lean into it. And don't you find that the pivot comes more quickly into the understanding? At least I am. I'm human. I still, of course, have experiences that trigger, or sometimes it actually gets even more intense. I think about the story of the Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree when all of the Maras, the temptresses, they began, as he sat there for the 40 days and 40 nights, as it got to the end of his time under the Bodhi tree, the Maras and the temptresses, they upped their game, right? And it got even more difficult to sit in the stillness. And I think that as we're on this spiral of whatever journey we're on, you're right, Jodi, things happen as catalysts, and whatever it is that is going to crack our heart open, it's purposeful. And often we don't see it in the midst of it, but at the heart of all of these experiences is the coming back to loving ourselves, being gentle with ourselves, having compassion. I just keep feeling that we are here at this time to wrap ourselves and the world in this warm blanket, because there's so much sharp, fractious, cold, frightening, fearful energy that's rising on the planet to arise, to be healed, to be released. But nevertheless, there are a lot of people that are feeling it profoundly and don't have an insight as to why it's happening. And there are profound losses. So with the experience that we're having with this, we are being called to become profound healers and profound carriers of this great mother love, that the mother knows that hurt will come, pain is here, we will experience wretchedness in our life. And the mother energy is that energy that wraps around us and rocks us in our deepest sorrow or pain and says, I'm not going anywhere. And when we give that to ourselves over and over again, that's when we really start to deepen into that beautiful self-compassion.
Beautiful. Yeah, you mentioned the leaning in. I am still witnessing people around me who are choosing not to lean in. So, for me, it's continuing to send love, even in those moments where I see people choosing not to lean in, because we still have a choice and we have to be willing to do the work. So we just keep sending love and just be the beacon. And I do believe in miracles, and I have witnessed it, in my own life and in the lives of people.
Hallelujah.
Right? Yes. Right?
Yes.
That anything is possible, but you have to open the doorway for it to happen through you, with you, and for you. Because it can't be forced. The soul really asks us to surrender to what is happening and to lean in and to listen to the guidance and, receive the support in whatever form is needed, physical, right? Or in the spiritual planes. But, I see that in, my own family and some of the suffering that is happening because of, Pamela, you mentioned the attachments, right, to experiences, to old ways of thinking, of being. And as a healer, I had to let that go, right, because I wanted to, fix everything. And long ago, I realized, they each have their own, journey, and I have to honor that. And I feel that that's part of what I've really been feeling is this deepening into honoring each other and the sacredness in all that we are and all that's around us. And like everything is alive. And if you view it in that way, the plants and, your home and where you live and, nature, it all comes forth to support you. And that honoring feels really important because I feel we're stepping back into that, into this this holy light that we all hold. This chalice of Divine Mother, Sophia, pouring her living waters over us to cleanse us and bless us, if we're willing to lean in and say, okay, I surrender. And sometimes it takes, like something like both of you mentioned, something really difficult happening, for us to be willing to say, okay, I surrender. And I certainly have been there many times where it took something, really painful for me to surrender. But I think even that, is changing, where the pathway to getting to that place is happening much quicker. Things that used to take years to heal are happening, in days. It's just amazing to be witnessing this journey that we're all on.
Yeah, I think about beloved Sandra Walters saying she has this beautiful quote, "We care, but we don't carry." So I feel that we are really collapsing old ways of codependency, negative ways of relating, and it's been a time of radical releasing in relationships. And really in ways that we might not have imagined. For myself, 3 years ago, I would never have imagined the relationships that I won't say had to release. I've been called to care and love enough that I won't carry whatever that might be, the resentment, the trying to fix or drag it forward. And there is something profoundly alchemical in this time, because I'm seeing, that those souls that came into our lives to offer us this opportunity to love so profoundly that we let them go and we don't have a relationship in the way that we did. That's a deep hallmark of the time we're in. Maybe, Jodi, you'd like to talk a bit about your journey, and I'd also like to hear about your journey to Avalon. If you want to talk about some of both of these, of your journey that you've been, moving on into your individuation.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's been a journey. It's been about 2 years of this process with my husband, who I have felt is my beloved. And we were together for 21 years. And we just had wounds in our relationship between each other. And then it just came to a point where something needed to break, something cracked. And it was 7 months ago that we separated. And I think both him and I have been moving through deep grief. I kind of went through the process first, and I think he's going through it more so now. And yeah, I feel like it had to happen. We had to kind of move through things of our own separately. And yeah, I'm trying to speak about this in a way that I'm not sharing details of my life, but just sharing more general themes. But no, it's been a wild journey and quite painful. We have 2 boys together, and but this is a process that I realized I really needed to go through to move through layers of my own healing, as well as shifting. We needed to shift the dynamic between us. There was sort of like a power struggle that was happening between us that was going back and forth. And so, as you were speaking about this journey that we're all going through and that we need to surrender, it made me think of the power of really surrendering to our emotions and creating safe containers and spaces for us to move through our emotions. The room that I'm in right now, I have grieved deeply in this space, wailing, just feeling the loss of this relationship and this separation from someone who I shared my life with for so long. And yeah, and so I also want to share that, as we move through really challenging times like this, I feel like I was very much supported by some of the people that I worked with spiritually as healers and guides. I don't think I could be in such a rosy place right now if I didn't have their support. And so everyone's going to find their support in different ways, but I think, having these resources is really beneficial. And so, speaking to, for the 3 of us and for those of us who are really wanting to hold the light at this time, I feel like there's such a need for us to be in this role as people are moving through deep change and deep healing. And so resources really come to mind of like what we each are going to have, because I think we're going to have some dark chapters ahead of us on a collective level, on like a world level, but as well as like our own internal journeys as well. And so I follow a really incredible astrologer, Virginia Rosenberg, and she talks about, what are your resources? What are those things that you have to support you so you can feel that softness, so you can feel held and supported. Is there someone you can call? And so I am really concerned about people's mental health as we move into this next winter, and a potential of further lockdowns if that could come along again. And I really hope I'm not putting any energy around that. But it's really important that everyone remembers what maybe worked for them during the last lockdown, as well as starting to figure out what resources work for you just in difficult times. Is it meditation? Is it movement, dancing? Is it exercise? Is it journaling? Is it speaking to a certain healer? There's so many different ways that we can find support. Is it being in nature? And so I think it's really important that this is sort of a conversation where we can really become conscious of the ways that we can support ourselves in difficult times, whether they're part of our own internal journey in our lives, or whether it's something coming at us externally, like what we see in Israel and Palestine. Yeah, so I've just been in this journey of experiencing deep grief and loss, and allowing myself to emotionally feel what I need to feel, to cry. And it's incredible how the body is this incredible vessel where energy can move through it. I'm sure you've heard the expression like energy in motion. Emotion is energy in motion. So really finding containers where you can really allow yourself to experience and release. And that could also look like sacred rage, because that's becoming more of it's being looked at a little bit more in a more healthy perspective, that we have anger sometimes inside of us, and we just have to find a safe way to release it. So whether you take a moment to, punch a pillow, or you go into the forest and you take a stick and you beat a dead tree and you sound and you release, and that energy can move through you. And there's other opportunities like breath work, where they get you sounding as well and releasing. And so these are all really important tools, I think, for people to be conscious of. Yeah. So that's been my takeaway is, finding those outlets, whether it's walking my dog in nature. I feel like that's been such a cornerstone of my healing and grounding, is to be in nature. Yeah.
Well, I want to segue from that, because I feel it's so important community right now, right, with everything that's going on, to people to find communities where they feel held and supported.
Yes.
Jodi, as you're bringing up so many important points in the self-care, I have my pit crew that helps to take care of my body. With all of us who move energy through us, so important to keep that vessel clear and healthy. And, community really helps. I remember years ago, I was trying to do this on my own, and, then realized like, oh no, I'm not meant to do this on my own. I really do need the support. And I think that that's what, why Pamela and I came together to create these Sisters of the Rose gatherings, as we deepened into the remembrance of who we were, and, the remembrance from ancient times of really connecting into the rose frequencies, and that spiral into the heart to deepen into the place where that love just starts to melt everything away, as both of you have been speaking. And so community is, we are creating these sacred containers, and we're doing our next one in Costa Rica in April of next year, April 20th to 27th. And Jodi was at our first retreat in Ontario, Canada. So, Jodi, can you speak to your experience at that retreat?
Ah, it was so beautiful. beauty filled. It was beautiful. There was, and that's what's so beautiful. I mean, there's people who are doing like somatic work and lots of clearing work, but your work is just like affirmation filled of love and peace and reconnection. And it's just such a beautiful journey to come back to all that remembering. Yeah, so we had so many beautiful experiences, um, reflecting back on the ones that really resonated so deeply. There was one where we were in circle receiving a beautiful transmission from both of you. And we were just connecting with our breath and allowing ourselves to feel whatever was stirring within us. And so we really went individually on a beautiful journey that you both took us on. And it was beautiful. And what's always so powerful is when we come out of it and then we hear each other speak of our experiences. And we hold space for each other. And as women, it's so important that we feel heard and that we have space to speak. And in that speaking, we realize so much as well. So there was just such a beautiful container that you held for us. I love the beautiful affirmations as we traveled through the altar. And as sisters, we are like adorning each other with words, beautiful words of what we see in each other. And, I think it's so important for us to learn to receive how people see us and experience us and to hear it, because we don't speak these words enough to each other, how much beauty we see in each other, how much we are in awe of each other's gifts. And so that is such a gift in itself, that ritual of speaking and whispering into each other's ears, the beauty and everything we see. I love that as well. And the sound journeys that you took us on, Pam, as well, were just profound. It's so hard to put into words because it's so celestial and yet multidimensional that there's, I think, different moments of pings that are going off in each of us, and our many different lives that each women have lived. So different things are going to spark different moments of remembering and that reconnection with, oh, there's something there. And then there's something for us to then follow, like, what is my connection with Isis, or what is my connection with Hathor, or these different goddess energies that you brought into our consciousness. It was just profound. Yeah, it was just such a divine weekend. Oh, and I also love the beautiful rose petal mandala we created on the floor.
Yeah.
And I just know I had huge shifts that weekend. I remember wailing and crying during your transmission, Elohi, and I was observing it during it. I was like, oh, is this mine? I don't know if this is mine, but it still wanted to just come through me. And so that was a beautiful release. I was able to feel supported during a challenging time in my marriage by the women. So as we were gathered around at dinner, we were able to talk deeply about stuff that we're going through and really allow all the walls to come down and feel safe in the container to be women, like sisters, and being like, this is how I really feel. And even talk about like our deep sexual desires and our needs, our needs that we want to have met in our relationships. Like, that's how women were together as sisters. Just picturing us all just like getting together and pampering each other and being in the red tent together. We need to remember that closeness of sisterhood, because we get each other, we know each other so well, we know what we like. That's why women are so incredible when they are supporting each other in childbirth, because women know what women want and need. And yeah, so yeah,
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank
layers,
you. These
layers.
reflections have brought it right back, and I so appreciate you speaking to the creating of that feeling safe, feeling seen, feeling heard, and that intimacy that is so nurturing and nourishing and joyful. And you know, we need more of this in our lives. And being here tonight with you, I'm right back sitting in the circle, and this really is what we have come to embody, is in the awakened, alive, open-hearted, wild feminine, is letting go of all of the masks and the posturing and the competing and the feeling less than, and you've got this and I've got that, and no, this is not what we're about at all, right? We are,
And
yeah.
I will say, I think I'll speak for myself. Each time I show up in retreat, whether I know the other women, but oftentimes when I don't, there is judgment, there are preconceptions, there is a bit of guardedness. And then as soon as the space is opened up for deep sharing, right away we shift into the heart and we start to see each other. I start to see the other women and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, and then all the judgments, fade away. But that's part of the healing, is our relationship to each other in this way.
Absolutely.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's the pendulum from fear to love, right? We have so much that we've been conditioned to have fear without even being aware that it's different shades of it, right? But isn't it great when you're at a love party, when you're just wrapped in all that good love, and it's
Mm-hmm.
everything softens and sweetens, and we become in the south of the medicine wheel, in that watery place where sits our innocence and joyful, playful inner child. And it's great when we can come out to play with each other, whatever age we are, and rediscover that joy of living, that joy of being, because who wants to grow older and have, the shingles of cynicism come down over our eyes? Nobody wants this, right? But it happens. And when we come together in sacred circle with women, I just so appreciated everything you shared, Jodi, because it was so embodied from your experience. And to be free to share, that emotional life that is hard and heavy, I like to say, we offer the space to feel, to reveal what is arising to be healed. And it's like a doula or midwife situation that we create that sacred circle so that we can help the sister who is, traversing
Birthing
that dark,
herself.
right? Going through
Yes.
that dark terrain. Exactly. To hold her hand or hold her spirit, hold space for her. So
Mm-hmm.
yes to it all.
Yeah,
So,
and it's also just a luscious experience for the senses because the food was so yummy and we're just kind of pampered for that weekend. And the roses and I don't know, the sharing of oils, and there's just beauty, and women love beauty and pleasure. And yeah, so it's so beautiful to
Well,
be in those sensual experiences.
exactly. And I think in days of old, that was part of the alchemy of the sisters and the healing in the temples. And I think about the Ayurvedic practice of, pouring the warm oil over the top of your
oh,
head
I
and
love that.
having it drip out, like there was just something so
Yeah.
sensual and healing and
Yeah.
warming. Because I carry quite a bit of vata, and it's supposed to be the most healing for that. So we are speaking of nourishing and sensual, and we're going to be doing an excursion day at the Mystica Retreat in April, starting the morning off at an eco farm where we'll be delighting our taste buds with some organic coffee and chocolate at a farm called Don Olivos. And then we'll be heading to the Eco Termales mineral springs having lunch there. And I have not been, but our host, Lori Miles Carullo, has told me so much about this beautiful mineral hot springs that is at the base of the Arenal volcano that we see in this image behind us. So literally bathing in the volcanic mineral goodness in those springs, like apparently it's the healing waters carry these beautiful minerals that are very soothing and very healing. And yeah, baby, it's going to be amazing.
That takes me back to Avalon and the red and white
Oh,
springs, the chalice wells.
yes. Right.
Yeah,
The
we
waters are.
had beautiful ceremonies with those sacred waters.
I have drunk from those springs as well. It's the healing waters of the world are, well, I think they are enlivening too at this time, helping us to heal.
We are remembering that water has consciousness as well,
Right.
and we are made of water. So practices from ancient times of, praying over water and, speaking
Bathing.
to the cells, right, of the water molecules within us and the bathing, yes, the shower of really connecting into that consciousness that water has that is wanting to help us remember. And it certainly has been coming a lot into the channeling that I do and with the whales, right? The whales coming in to help us unlock the remembrance of that ancient wisdom that they hold, which water holds as well, because water, some of the water came from meteors and from other planets. So just so much around us, right, to access, to help us through this deep, deep transformation that we're going through. And I want to move into the retreat itself. Pamela, you mentioned some of the excursions. The focus of this retreat is really the working with Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, and Isis, and them helping us to embody the Maiden, the Mother, and the Crone energies, and really unlocking those holy grail mysteries through the womb, the heart, and the third eye, and allowing that divine feminine to really come into our bodies more deeply. Pamela and I have talked about of connecting in with the waters and using it as a way for the healing. So we've talked about doing, some purification work in the pool there at Mystica. And I know the whales will be with us, but that connection with the holy grail, the living waters of Mother Sophia, connecting in with Isis, who holds that, each of these goddesses, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, and Isis, holding that divine mother energy that is helping us to be held. And I know for me, my little girl, recently I had a deep healing where there was a lifting of her into higher frequency. And I think that all of us are being reminded, right? We can't ascend without that part of us. We have to bring the inner child with us to be rebirthed into that divine child that they are. And we do that by being held in these divine mother energies. So I am so looking forward, because we never know exactly what's going to happen, right? We're just opening up to allow these energies to come through us. But this divine mother, triple heart flame coming through to help support all the women who will gather at the Mystica Lodge for those 7 days that we're going to be together. It's all inclusive, all the meals. And Pamela, you can talk more about, Francesco and the meals that he provides. But that is part of what's included in the retreat. And they also have a tree house there, right, where they offer healings and whatnot. So if people are interested in having sessions, there will be time, to do that. Yeah, just this beautiful sacred container of healing and activation with more than Isis, Mary Magdalene, and Mother Mary, who are, kind of the key, I would say, facilitators. But we always bring in many other beings to help provide the nourishment and the healing and the transformation that happens through each person individually and in sisterhood. Because I feel it's also the love that which always has been what I have loved about these retreats, witnessing the love that is in the room of, each sister really holding space for each other and opening their hearts to support their sisters as they move through whatever they are experiencing.
Yes, beautiful, Elohi. And as you're speaking about being in this beautiful circle in the sisterhood, I'm remembering being at Mystica 7 years ago. I co-led a retreat with Lori. And I am thinking about being on the yoga platform, the yoga shala, which is in the jungle. So if you can imagine, you're surrounded by nature on all four sides, and there's a bit of a babbling brook on one side, so you hear water. You hear the breezes through the palm trees, and there were toucans on one side, and then the howler monkeys at times in the treetops contributing their unique sound and song and energy as well. And being in that, fresh air, outdoor energy that is, but yet with the green of the trees and the jungle all around you, it does feel very womb-like. And I just remember it being such a beautiful, sacred place to go deeper. And I think of this work, it sounds like too much heavy lifting, work, play, this experiencing that we come into together, is that it is a deepening into the devotion of this divine love, divine truth, divine wisdom, divine beauty. And there at Mystica, it's so easy to come into that coherence between brain and heart, in our workaday world, in our lives, and especially where we are in Canada, or even the northern United States. By springtime, we're ready for a little bit of sunshine and warmth, or maybe a lot. We literally get, light deprived. I know I suffer from SAD sometimes in the winter when it's very dark and drear. And so this is going to be a light infusion on all levels, literally physically, from the sunshine, from the sound frequencies, from the opening to the hearts of each other, and really being in the mystery. Because this is what I love about working with you, Elohi, and you too, Jodi, from the times that we've worked together, because we've created circles and retreats together as well, is some of it is planned. There's a beautiful blend of the masculine. We have the things we bring, to the circle, and we have the tools and the organizing. And then there is the invocation of the great mystery, where we get out of the way and become the vessel to receive these sounds and these messages, and the love that comes through us in the form that it does. And that in and of itself, that is the healing. That is it. In the now moment, when we are present to that transfiguring love, all else falls away, and we become the song, we become the dance, we become the poem, we become it all. So it is going to be, it is a privilege to go to places like this. And I do want to say that this is beyond decadence and privilege, because there can be some of that when traveling to countries such as this. Really, our intention and how we see this is that we are here to embody the highest of the high as we heal the lowest of the low. And nature, in and of itself, doesn't have a scale of qualifying what is dark or light or beauty or ugly. Nature just is resplendent. So we are coming into this time together as sisters in this beautiful place, this land called Costa Rica, which is known to be pura vida, to move beyond any qualifiers or notions that we may have had about worth or abundance or any of that lack, limitation, scarcity. What am I trying to say? We are going to become the riot of color that is the jungle and the beauty that is these lands that just are overflowing with the aliveness that is Mother Gaia in her greatest glory. We are that. So we are really coming into this time to know that we're leaving behind old ways of, parsing out what we can give ourselves by way of beauty and goodness, and really, opening it up to see what we're here for and what we can create, and the something better that is always the kernel inside what we might just say, oh, I can only take a little bit of this, right? The more we embody all of this beauty and bounty and benevolence, the more we have to give to others. And that really is the essence of Mother Gaia's message to us now. Care for me, love me, honor me, have reverence for me, but celebrate in my beauty and use me in service of the highest glory and love that you're here to experience, enjoy. Yeah.
I love it. It sounds lusciously abundant.
Mm-hmm.
And we are lusciously abundant. Just looking at that lusciousness, it's like we are that. We are
Right?
that
We are
abundant
that.
feminine. And I think I can speak for myself. I've had real scarcity mindset of take less, or feeling like limitations of oh, I can't do that travel, or I can't do that treat for myself. But when you start to say yes, yes, yes to all the things you want and desire, you fill yourself up, and then you beam that, and then you create more opportunity and more lusciousness in your life. It's a beautiful flow that you enter of abundance.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah. And, remembering that our supply really comes through the source within. And we have lived in such a different paradigm, right?
Yes.
And really, I think that's part of what's coming in now is the letting go of that scarcity, and the lack, and really stepping into that source within that is our supply, and it's unlimited, right? It is unlimited. And I could see it flowing, Jodi, as you were speaking of, that beautiful flow coming in, and it happens. The more we embody who we are, we become a transmission tower for that abundance that's generated from within us. So it's beautiful to be witnessing that we are stepping in, because it's not just for one, it's for all, right? We all have the capacity and the ability to connect in with that.
I think about the Robin Williams quote where he says, "Spring is nature's way of saying let's party," and I think that we are releasing eons of, as I said before, that victim, martyr, tyrant, playing small or keeping it within, that just having limitations and being based in anything that's based in lack or scarcity. as we're blossoming, we are learning to celebrate this infinite potential within us. And we are here to release that conditioning and anchor. And, I see it as us creating this tapestry ourselves. We each have a thread of this new electric, alive energy of infinite abundance and the dance, right? And we're to contribute together and teach each other how to let go of all of those old walls and masks and limits. And you're going to do that? I'm going to do that. I'm going to feel that free. Oh my God, look at her being so wild and free. And the more we tap into that energy, it is at the heart of attraction. To be attractive simply means to have that magnetic quality, magnetic electric, where you're so alive and so in alignment with your own joy that you're literally, when people say you're lit up, you are lit up, and the universe responds and rewards that light, right?
And it's what you're broadcasting.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joy is juicy.
It is. And in that vein of joy, we want to announce that we are doing a special promotion for the retreat. So anybody who signs up will, and really it's a gift offering. So if you're thinking of giving yourself a Christmas gift or wanting to do something for you in the name of self-care and really expanding and deepening into more of who you are, we were guided to give, this promotional gift offering of $150 off for each person. So if you come with a friend, each of you will get $150 reduced from the rate. And really to encourage you, we're getting close to the holidays. Think about gifting yourself. I do that every year. I started that practice a couple years ago where I give myself something that
Nice.
I really feel is going to support me on my journey. So, yeah, we are.
Can I?
Yep, go ahead.
I just wanted to add to that if a person feels called to come on this retreat and nourish themselves in this way and experience some deep healing, I feel just know that that investment that you put towards yourself in your healing will be supported because you're healing your ancestors and your descendants, and it will be supported. So when you give to yourself in that way, the energies will support that for you.
Thank you, Jodi.
Just had
That's
goosebumps.
so important. Yeah.
Yes.
That, we're not just doing this work for ourselves, we are doing it for our ancestry and for the collective, really. I always say what, my guides, what we do for one, we do for all. And it is so true. So what you give, you will receive back in multiple. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So anything else, Pamela, you want to say about the retreat, or we should go into the sounding?
I think
maybe
we're good.
Okay.
Let's do a few minutes of sounding to just put some icing on this beautiful cake that we've co-created, this rich and radiant offering. Yeah.
Do you want me to still play the track or not?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Let me just bring a little Koshi chime in because we want the bringing in the elementals, the devas, the nature spirits, because we're going to be in such beautiful breathing in.
As we call forth all of the beautiful beings of light that we had called in previously into this beautiful sacred container. I'm just going to turn on this track here.
If I fall off, it's because my battery's low.
Okay. Thank you, beloved Jodi.
As we call in all of our beautiful spiritual teams and guides. points and all those sisters and anyone who is listening now or in the future, as we bring you into this sacred container of light and love, that you may feel the presence of the higher aspects of your being, of all that you are, the aspects of you on higher planes, the higher aspects of your soul. We ask those aspects to come be with us now, come be with us now, that we may feel the presence more deeply within our bodies. And taking a deep breath and allowing that breath to move through our bodies. And sounding and releasing whatever is in the way of a deeper presence within. As I call in Ishtar, beautiful consciousness, galactic consciousness that channels through this vessel. Hello, beloveds. It's wonderful to be here with you. Love is where it is. Every part. Love flowing. We invite you to use your breath to come into the heart space. And if that is difficult for you, imagining that there's an elevator at the top of your head and you are stepping into that elevator, bringing all of your consciousness into that space with you as you press the button for your heart center, going down more deeply into your heart center, allowing the radiance of that love that is your true essence to begin to flow through your heart, through your body, through every layer of your being. And just imagine, wherever you may be, that you are opening and surrendering and allowing yourself to receive that which is part of you, part of the universe, part of all that is held in this divine matrix. Allowing yourself to receive that love. Imagining it like threads of light weaving within you, weaving the vibration of love through all the layers of your being. You are love, beloved. You have always been and will always be love eternal. And those threads of love forming a beautiful rose in your heart. Spirals, petals, opening up in your heart center, extending out, those petals holding sounds of love within you. in your heart, as we call forth all the Sisters of the Rose from ancient times, from modern times, from around the world, come be with us now, beloved sisters of the Rose, come be with us now. Holding hands and swaying back and forth, dancing, swaying, allowing love to guide you, to move through you. To awaken and to go into the places within you where love is being called forth, places where you may be holding grief in your heart, in your body, in your lower body, the places where emotions are held, moving, rising. Allow those emotions to meet love, for it is through the wound where the light enters. Through the wound, as you merge with it, where love restores into love once again. Allowing love to show you the way home, for each of you are being called home, home to this deeper remembrance, into that sacred chamber in your heart, where we are all one.
O.a.k.a. Oshke mawaka lek te koi ke wa ke shiki ke wa rote mi
Sakikaina, Wania Shitwana,
oshke
Niani Okasikai,
ne akawa
Shakikwana,
shoke mawe oeka rute ka shke meweka
Yalekwana Sakiane, Yane Otuasa, Diane Tuase. Yaleo tuana sakiarina, ni asituaina. O shatianeta ituana, yalekuana sekiania di dibne,
diwa
o ase,
awase makawa mo dewi Dewi e ka oe, ma Dewi e a.k.a. Madewi a.k.a. o e o Madewi a.k.a. o i o oke Madewi ma
Opening hearts deeper and deeper as those rose petals awakening sounds within your body through the layers of your being, your spiritual body, mental body, emotional body, physical body, honoring all the places within you that are calling love forth. As any pain arises, any wounds, anything that you are ready to let go of. Parts of you that have been kept attached to wounds that your higher self knows that now is the time to release them. And like a rose releasing each petal of those wounds, imagining each of those places within you are being met by the love coming from those rose petals that have expanded within your heart center. And that rose getting bigger and bigger and bigger, expanding beyond your body. And you are floating with your sisters inside of your rose. And all of you within a bigger rose. Receiving, allowing, as we transmute and restore all that you are to your original divine blueprint. For love is your true essence, beloved. You are love, and showering the younger versions of you that may need this love right now. As we call in the energies of Divine Mother Sophia, Shekinah, and all the Divine Mother energies represented by all the many goddesses, divine feminine energies that are awakening and rising within you. As these goddesses enter this circle with you, dancing with you, transmitting love into you, helping you remember that you are this and more. O ania sequania kikwa isa, dia sequani natito, o saniali, wania tituasa.
so dearly, deeply loved. You are so held in the heart of this divine heart of all that is. We watch you. We watch you with pride, reverence, gratitude for this earth walk can be filled with tribulations, trials, moments when you fall to your knees. Know that at these times we are with you, holding you so dearly, so profoundly, showering you with the radiance of this divine love. Each one of you has so many beings from just beyond the veil. In every moment, every breath, your guardians, your guardian angels, your spirit guides, your ancestors, guiding you, giving you strength, anchoring you in this energy that allows you to keep going on your path, to arise stronger than before. We say prayers of thanks, gratitude for the ways that you open your heart in kindness for yourself, for others, for all the creatures on this planet. For you are a being of profound depth. We see you growing this compassion, this consciousness of the most profound love that is rooted in your innocence and your wisdom, that has grown in the darkness, in this human experience of duality. Yes, hold yourself, dear one, with so much tender love, and recognize that your noble, tender heart has been shaped each time that you have chosen, any time that you have felt triggered or been in a place where you yourself have felt weakened, that you have drawn from this deep well of your own source light. You have turned within to listen quietly for the whispers of your ancestors, of your angels, of the ascended masters. And you know that we speak to you in the times of quietude. We send you colors and scents. We send you ideas and inspiration. And sometimes we simply ask you to rest and be. And we ask you at this time to pay particular attention to the needs of your body, to rest when called. And when you are drawn to withdraw from the noise of the outer world, from any relationships or environments that have been harsh or caused you to feel the disruption within. Honor yourself, dear one, for these are times of the raging waters and winds, times of great change. But below the surface of the turmoil, the earthquakes, the volcanic eruptions, the war, below the rocky waves on the ocean, there is, below the surface tension, a deep and profound calm. There is a place of deep and infinite love that we hold for you. And we want you to know that it will not always be this way. Please hold hope in your heart. Allow yourself to water and hold carefully, tenderly, with so much faith, the tender rosebud of your own heart. And know that there is so much light that is flooding the planet now, that is filled with codes and the transformational energy coming from beyond the veil, from all of the beings that are guiding this time of moving beyond the Kali Yuga into the new golden era, the age of Aquarius, this new earth energy, where we will be co-creating the new circuitry of our body, mind, soul templates, a circuitry where we will literally be transformed from within to without. And we will operate within ourselves and upon this beautiful planet Earth with the technology of love itself, where there will be an effortlessness. We will release the pain, the conflict, the duality, the war, and we will open to the vitality, the beauty, the collaborations, the innovations, the awakening of the human template, where within our blueprint we will find a love, a unity, a harmony. We will be sourced by grace itself. Hold this within your knowing. For this is what we have come for, is to water these seeds that are awakening within us, within the earth, within each other. We hold you now in this love, in this light, in this consciousness. It is beyond words, the beauty that you will experience. It is a reckoning of the most glorious radiance that you could ever imagine as your pineal gland begins to awaken and shimmer and be filled with these hormones of awakening, where your gifts and talents will come online. Intelligence, knowledge, knowing, a creativity to heal and transform, a creativity to create such beauty upon this planet. Let us be in that space, imagining together, dear ones. The angels themselves are singing. Singing, do not give up, have hope, strengthen your faith, trust in the unfolding. Help each other see through these eyes of love. Be so gentle with yourselves, for we watch you with so much love and pride. Yes, dear ones, we love you. So it is, and so may it be. We wrap you in this living prayer, that you may rest in the knowing that you have all that you need within you. You are the living song of creation itself. Know this, trust this, be this. Love is the alchemy. Love is all. And we invite you to take a few moments to relax and receive the depth and the breadth of your own miraculous magnificence. For you are the miracle. We are the miracle. We wish you holy holiness, the wholeness of the love of the divine in every moment. Breathe into your heart now and let the ripples of this love release anything that you are ready to let go of, and draw forth all that you are wanting to nurture and amplify in your life. We set your sankalpa, your living intention, your embodied prayer, whatever that may be, speak that into this space now, and know that it is heard and amplified. We hold you in this sacred sankalpa. I am a living embodiment of the Christ light. I am divine love here, now, alive on this planet, divine love, to experience the unfolding of my life as beauty and joy and strength, courage, and joy, and strength, wisdom, courage, compassion, discernment, divine love. We are a distillation of the divinity. We are source itself, here to play in this field of pure joy, pure potential possibilities. We are here to get out of our own way and to eavesdrop on the art that we are here to bring forth, the living art that we are living every day, every ordinary moment as extraordinary. Ishke wa amore qua dondole ishke wa I
imprinting that rose in your heart, beloveds, that will help you remember this love that you are, this experience of here and now and from before, merging as one within your heart center. As we open the channels and the gateways for deeper remembrance, deeper embodiment of who you truly are, anchoring in this. And as we do this, we invite you to radiate from your heart to each other, to all of humanity, to all the places around the world that are in suffering and pain and war, as we shower this love through time and space, beyond the beyond, through the lines of ancestry, backwards and forwards in time into the present now, to heal the wounds, that have been rising to the surface, through the violence, through the anger, through the pain and the suffering, that we may transmute that through love, showering all in that illumination of that presence within, that eternal love and grace that is within you and within all. And imagine that we are dropping these beautiful white, pink, red rose petals around the world, melting away, transmuting all that's in the way of a deeper awakening, a deeper love being felt and experienced, as we activate that within you and within all, showering all of humanity in this eternal love and grace, that the miracles may rise from within to bring the violence to an end, to quell the anger and restore it with love, to illuminate the pathway deeper into the heart where the new earth is being created as we speak. The light illuminating, pillars of light through the earth from the cosmos, all beings of light uniting as one, and seeing a beautiful rose being birthed from the center of the earth, Mother Earth and Cosmic Mother uniting through these rose frequencies, birthing that rose as large as the earth, bigger than the earth, showering all, illuminating all in the highest vibrations of eternal love, divine love that has no beginning and no end, no conditions, no judgments. It just is, and it loves all as we love you, beloveds. We love you all. And we shower you and your relations, your families, your friends, all those you are here to serve, in this highest illumination of eternal love and grace, anchoring this within you, within the earth, within all that is, for you and for all. In oneness, we are love, we are light, we are one.
Gratitude is the gateway. We give deep and profound, endless, infinite thanks for the opportunity to be alive here on this beautiful blue-green planet at this time. It is such an honor, a privilege, and a delight to be here now for the shift of the ages. Each one of us helping to turn the pages. We thank you for your presence.
We thank you.
We thank you for your presence.
We thank you, beloveds, this grand awakening that is happening.
We love you.
We love you.
Thank you. We love you.
We honor you in all that you are. As we anchor this within you, bringing you back into the present moment, into your bodies. As we thank you for being here with us, whether you're hearing this now or in the future. Those of you sisters who may feel the calling, may feel the calling from the Sisters of the Rose, from Mary Magdalene, Isis, Mother Mary, and all the goddesses that represents the Divine Mother energies that are awakening deeply within you and through Mother Earth, through the Cosmic Mother. If you feel the call, beloveds, then we encourage you to join us in Costa Rica, to join us in sacred sisterhood, to deepen even more into this love, to remember more of who you are, to awaken more deeply to the gifts that you hold, reclaiming your voice, your divine power, your divinity, your divine feminine, all that has been repressed and suppressed within, awakening. And so, if you are called, we await you, beloved, with open arms and open hearts, as this beautiful gathering of sisterhood is being anchored and prepared for you, for your coming forth, for your deepening, for a deeper remembrance, for a deeper love to find you once again. Love is the alchemy, and love is all. And we hold you in our arms, in our wings, in our love that is eternal and holy as you are, beloved. We love you. You are love, and you are so deeply loved.
And as we breathe in together, we exhale all of this love that has been gathered and co-created and felt in this time together tonight beyond space and time. And we send it spinning, showering this earth, all beings on this planet. May you receive the radiance of this divine love, this earthly love, this love from the heart of all that is, the love that is here as a force to transform all pain. We thank you for being a vessel of this love, for carrying this as your seed that you are also bringing to light as your rose of remembrance of the love that you are. Thank you. Thank you for all that you are and all that you be and all that you do in this world to bring kindness and compassion and love and care. ways that you do. We are in service of this love on behalf of the Sisters of the Rose, the Magdalene family, the family of Christ. We give thanks, and we close this circle now, giving thanks to all who came to hold space in this sacred container. Thank you, thank you. We close this portal now. Thank you, my beloved sister, Elohi.
Thank you, my beloved sister. Grateful to be on this journey with you. And we are with all of you in the ethers, for we are one. And we
And
leave
feet on the
you-
ground on Mother
Yes.
Earth to
Yes.
remember to get our
Yes.
shoes and socks off and feel Mama Gaia, because she gives us so much good grounding
Yes.
energy.
Yes. Remember to ground yourself as we expand. Important to ground that energy in the physical vessel. And Mother Earth helps us do that. We give thanks. And we will leave you now to be in this energy. We love you eternally.
Sending you so much love and gratitude.
Blessings.
Until next time.
Yes. We see you once again.